The Ukrainian military dealt a major blow to Russian forces after launching a powerful surprise attack along the front line, inflicting heavy losses on Russian troops. One of the fiercest clashes took place in the Azov Brigade sector near Shakov, where Russia launched a rare large-scale armored assault involving elements of the 8th and 41st Combined Arms Armies, as well as the 90th Tank Division. The Russian assault force, consisting of numerous tanks, armored fighting vehicles, and mechanized units, was met with coordinated firepower from Ukrainian defensive forces. Previously identified avenues of advance were struck by intense artillery fire, anti-tank weapons, and precision attacks supported by unmanned aerial vehicles. Russian forces suffered significant losses during their attempt to advance, with a substantial number of armored vehicles destroyed or disabled. The offensive quickly lost momentum and ultimately failed, allowing Ukrainian forces to maintain their defensive superiority along the front line while delivering another heavy blow to the Russian military. After hours of intense fighting, Russian forces suffered a major defeat. Throughout the operation, Ukrainian troops reportedly destroyed 7 tanks, 6 armored fighting vehicles, 1 Tornado-S multiple launch rocket system, 1 Grad multiple launch rocket system, 3 engineering vehicles, and 47 light military vehicles, dealing a serious blow to Russia's offensive capabilities. In addition, 123 Russian soldiers were reportedly killed, while another 29 were wounded. The operation, which significantly degraded Russia's offensive potential, has been assessed as an important development that shifted the battlefield balance in Ukraine's favor. The results also strengthened the morale and operational superiority of the Ukrainian armed forces. The attack further boosted the morale of the Ukrainian military, while once again demonstrating the effectiveness of its carefully planned and coordinated operations. By maintaining systematic pressure on Russian forces, Ukraine has continued to sustain a high operational tempo through a series of successful missions. These surprise attacks have placed considerable pressure on Russian armored units, artillery systems, and logistical capabilities, significantly limiting their freedom of movement along the front. The growing number of successful operations and destroyed military assets continues to enhance Ukraine's effectiveness on the battlefield, providing valuable operational advantages and strengthening its strategic position for future military operations. According to reports, Ukraine targeted several cargo ships in the Caspian Sea that were allegedly being used to support Russian military logistics. Initial reports claim that the cargo vessels Port Olyatu and Bege, which were reportedly involved in transporting Russian military supplies, came under attack. Although these claims have not been independently verified, if confirmed, the incident could have significant implications for Russia's military logistics network. In particular, attacks on long-range supply routes could pose serious risks to the security of rear-area logistics and force Russia to reassess its military planning. From a military perspective, the primary objective of such operations is not only to destroy specific targets, but also to disrupt the enemy's logistical capacity, interfere with supply lines, and create uncertainty along strategic transportation routes. If these reports prove accurate, Russia may be forced to implement stricter security measures for military shipments routed through third countries. This could slow logistical operations, increase transportation costs, and complicate operational planning. Furthermore, the perception that international shipping routes are at greater risk could place additional pressure on Russia's military supply chain. Ukraine's recent operations, which reportedly extend beyond the front line to target logistical infrastructure, demonstrate that the war is being fought not only on the battlefield, but also across supply and transportation networks. Such alleged operations can be viewed as part of a broader strategy aimed at degrading the logistical elements that directly support Russia's combat capabilities. However, since the available information has not yet been independently verified, further confirmation is required before any definitive conclusions can be drawn regarding the scale or impact of the reported attacks. Russia launched a large-scale armored offensive in an attempt to break through Ukrainian defensive positions in the direction of Dobropilya. According to reports, the operation involved 9 main battle tanks equipped with advanced active protection systems and other high-tech defensive equipment deployed to the front line. Russian commanders reportedly hoped that the firepower and enhanced survivability of these armored units would allow them to breach Ukrainian defenses quickly. However, the coordinated response of Ukrainian forces prevented the offensive from achieving its objective. Well-prepared defensive positions combined with the coordinated use of unmanned aerial vehicles, artillery, and anti-tank weapon systems subjected the advancing Russian armored column to concentrated fire. As the fighting intensified, Ukrainian forces reportedly destroyed all 9 tanks that had participated in the assault. Reports also claimed that the active protection systems failed to provide sufficient defense against Ukraine's layered firepower, preventing the armored units from maintaining their advance. As a result, the main striking force of the Russian offensive was neutralized in a short period of time, causing the assault to lose all momentum. With the armored units knocked out of action, Russian infantry reportedly found themselves without adequate support, struggled to hold their positions, and were ultimately forced to withdraw. According to reports, some surviving Russian soldiers fled the battlefield using motorcycles in an effort to escape as quickly as possible. The incident once again demonstrated that in modern warfare, advanced technology alone is not enough, and that effective intelligence, coordination, and precision fire support remain decisive factors on the battlefield. Ukraine's sustained pressure against armored targets and its successful defensive operations have continued to limit the operational effectiveness of Russian offensives while helping maintain defensive superiority along the front line. Ukrainian forces also neutralized another Russian multiple launch rocket system, MLRS. During a precision operation on the front line, the target was identified by Ukraine's 77th Air Assault Brigade and struck by FPV kamikaze drones before it could complete preparations for an attack. According to reports, the system was destroyed before it was able to launch rocket strikes against Ukrainian populated areas. The destruction of the launcher dealt another blow to Russia's fire support capabilities, while significantly reducing its ability to conduct long-range rocket attacks. Every MLRS system destroyed weakens Russia's artillery capabilities behind the front line, eases pressure on Ukrainian defensive positions, and helps reduce the threat posed to civilian population centers, making such operations an important operational success. In a separate operation, the Ukrainian Border Guard Service reported that during reconnaissance and strike missions in the northern Slobozhansky region, its forces detected and destroyed a Russian D-30 towed howitzer, ammunition stockpiles, and a fortified bunker through precision strikes. The operation reportedly resulted in additional Russian personnel and equipment losses. Precision strikes against these types of targets form an important part of Ukraine's broader strategy to weaken Russian artillery support, disrupt ammunition supplies, and undermine defensive positions along the front line. Supported by unmanned aerial vehicles, Ukraine's coordinated operations continue to place constant pressure on Russian artillery units while strengthening its operational advantage on the battlefield. As these developments continue to unfold throughout the day, don't forget to subscribe to NLY Military and like this video to stay up to date with the latest developments from the Russia-Ukraine front.